Bichon Havanais. The Bichon Havanais is a funny, mischievous dog with a wonderfully loving and docile temperament. This breed was initially developed as a companion dog on the island of Cuba. Despite the fact that it has found its way to America quite recently, nowadays it's considered to be one of the most fashionable dogs in this country. The predecessors of the Bichon Havanais arrived to Cuba with Spanish settlers in the 16th century. These lapdogs, which belong to the Bichon family, were poorly accommodated for the Cuban climate, so they gradually evolved into a totally new breed, the Blanquito de la Habana, the Havanese Silk dog. It was notable for smaller size and gorgeous silky hair. Its coat acquired heat-proof qualities and was highly useful in protecting the dog from merciless tropical sun. During the 19th century it was interbred with French and German Poodles, which were imported to Cuba from Europe. It formed the shaping of the Havanese as we know it today. The breed was called after Havana, the capital of Cuba, but this fluffy miniature dog had many nicknames throughout its history, including Spanish Silk Poodle, Bichon Habanero, Havana Spaniel, White Cuban and Havana Silk Dog. Since the beginning of the 19th century, the Bichon Havanais was a favorite lapdog of the Cuban nobility. Travelers from Europe who were charmed by impressive look and outgoing personality of the breed usually took its puppies to their native countries. The dog used to have much devoted following in Europe in the middle of the 19th century, and Queen Victoria and Charles Dickens were among numerous celebrated fanciers who gave preference to the Havanese. The Bichon Havanais lived through hard times in the wake of the Cuban Revolution. The good breeding practices were generally abandoned and the dog appeared on the verge of extinction. Fortunately, several Cuban families continued to breed and keep the Havanese, and after the revolution 11 specimens were imported to the United States by the Cuban migrants. Virtually all breed members outside of Cuba have descended from these dogs. The breed's true popularity began in 70s of the 20th century when an American pair scoured America for remaining descendants of 11 members that lately arrived from Cuba. Thanks to the excellent temperament and fascinating appearance as well as extensive breeding efforts of this couple, it soon won lots of American hearts as a companion dog. It was officially recognized by the American Kennel Club in 1995. The Bichon Havanais requires impressive amount of care, as one would imagine from a first glance at this dog. Its lavish coat should be brushed minimum several times a week. In order to keep up the show look of the dog, you are going to spend 2 to 3 hours weekly. That's why many owners prefer to have their Havaneses regularly trimmed to a puppy cut. Anyway, the hair around the feet and directly around the eye must be regularly sheared. The dog's profuse coat should be frequently checked for any signs of parasites, mats or tangles. The Havanese sheds little to no hair, so adopting this dog can become an acceptable variant for allergic sufferers. The Havanese has been frequently used as a circus dog, which means that this biddable and smart animal is notable for exceptional trainability. Moreover, it seems that it also likes to learn and derives true pleasure from this process. This dog performs incredibly well in obedience competition and agility. It's highly advisable to use only reward-based methods in its training, since the breed is apt to become overly stubborn and resentful if it has been treated harshly. The Bichon Havanais is known to have certain difficulty in housebreaking. The dog has small bladder, so you will have to put up with occasional accidents in your house much longer than it's usually in case with larger breeds. Being kept primarily indoors throughout its history, the Bichon Havanais is fairly undemanding when things concern its exercise regimen. Naturally, it requires daily moderately paced walk and enjoys quality time spending in playing with its master. This dog suits ideally for families which prefer more sedentary lifestyle. This doesn't purport that its basic needs for the physical activity can be completely ignored. Physically dissatisfied Havanese usually turns into nervous, overexcited or destructive creature.